Good morning, good evening, and welcome back to warthunder. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the German rank 5 super heavy tank, the Maus. With Warthunder's anniversary, the Maus is coming back for a limited time. So, how do you even obtain the Maus? You need to be at rank 5 of the German ground tech tree and put at least one research point into the Maus. If you do this, you will be able to research it whenever you want to. Keep in mind that if you don't manage to reach rank 5 this year, the Maus is going to be coming back next anniversary sale. With the intro out of the way, let's take the Maus into its first game. So here we are for the first game on the map Fields of Normandy. We're going to take the Maus very slowly over to the alpha capture point. Now the thing you're going to notice about this Maus is that it's very slow. You go around 20 kilometers per hour forward and in reverse, so you will need to take this into consideration when playing this, and you will need to know where to position the tank very good to be effective. So you don't want to go on the far flank, since you won't be able to get into the battle as quickly. So you need to be pretty aware of where you're going to take the Maus. Looking at the armament, you have two guns, a main gun which is a 128mm cannon and a secondary which is a 75. Now of course the 128 is going to be the main thing you're going to use to kill the tanks, but you are also going to need to use the 75 effectively if you want to perform any decent games. Now the 128 is like any normal gun, shoot at the tanks and kill them. The 75 though is a pretty good and funny gun as well. You will see me using heat for the things I can kill with it, and smokes. For heat you just shoot light tanks, overpressure them, shoot barrels and detrack enemy tanks while waiting for your reload. And the smoke can be used to cover angles of fire that the enemies are using. You can cover yourself repairing, cover enemy sight lines, and just protect yourself and your team with these smokes. Now if you want to be effective, you need to be able to use both guns pretty good and bind the keybinds for a secondary armament as well. Now, can this be used in a upter? It can be used in upter. It's gonna be a lot harder to do it effectively though in a upter, since things will have access to heat and APDS and APFSDS in some cases. So it works best in a downter, but that is true for most tanks. Now turning the focus back to the actual gameplay. We have taken over Alpha, cleared out enemy tanks on it, and now you see we have used smoke to cover off this M48, since we will struggle to penetrate him from the front, and as he moves to get a sightline, we do manage to catch him in the side. So here you see an example of me using the smoke effectively. There are gonna come more examples later down in this game as well. Now I decided to kinda stay on Alpha. There's no need for me to push forward in the open, and we will be able to kill most enemies from this distance as well with the fantastic 128 gun. Now looking at the minimap, we see that the enemies have taken Bravo, so the risk that they come flooding into Alpha is very large. Since they have Charlie, the only reasonable way they're gonna go is either to go spawn camp, which probably will happen, and the other chance is that they come down into Alpha. So we're gonna have to be aware and look at the minimap and using our headphones to try to see if they're coming. As you can see here, I'm constantly looking over, stopping just to look for any audio cues, and we find a enemy that we may be able to catch. It's a American T-29. Unfortunately, we don't manage to get him in the side of the turret down his snag and his radiator. Now again, just looking at the minimap, you can see that our team is basically gone from Alpha. I'm basically the only one here, and I hear multiple tanks pushing me from the building directly to the front of me. But I also have enemies to our right, and here you can see a problem with the German teammates. It's pretty hard to win games since they mostly die and leave after 1 or 2 deaths. And I'm going to have to try to hold Alpha all by my own here. And here we can see the beginning of the end. Pretty poor shot on this T-29, but we're just going to have to bait and hide around this building. I do also hear a M109 to the left of this building, and there are enemies pushing from the right and a lot of enemies over on the church. So it's going to be very difficult for us to survive here. Take care of the Rochev and retract the T-29. Next, another M109 comes around the corner, and luckily for us he doesn't manage to overpressure us, and we're gonna start pumping 75s into him until we have reloaded and taken care of him as well. Now we have the T-29, but they do also have a lot of enemies, as you can see to the left, and this pattern is going to try to attack us. So we're going to try our best to angle first off, and now we're just going to try to survive. I will just leave you with my attempt to survive this goddamn ordeal here. Spawning in the mouse again, we see what typically happens on the fields of Normandy. Depending on which side wins Alpha, it's going to become a spawn camping feast. Now, here we first off pop smoke with our normal smoke grenade, and then we're gonna load smokes in the 75 secondary. Now, I did this because I wanted to cover the church hill that the enemies are on, so we start launching smoke grenades over that side to cover their sightlines, hopefully making it safe for us and making it safe for any other friendlies that decide to spawn on this side. Taking out a Centurion that was also going to spawn camping, it's an important kill to help secure our spawn. But sadly for the German teams here, most of the friendlies have already left the game. So we probably have no chance of winning this unless my teammates can remain on the capture points and have control over them. But we on this flank continue to decimate any enemies that come and try to spawn camp. We also hear a lot of cast going up in the air around us, so we are probably gonna get bombed sooner or later. And those bombs do eventually come. And for the final kill we pick up a plane just circling above the Weasel 1A. Earning a total of 9,000 research points and 80,000 civilians, we take first place with 12 kills. Second battle here on the North Holland. Starting off, we're going to be pushing over on the Alpha point here, together with some other mice as well. Now, the first thing we're gonna come across is a Soviet tank destroyer. Now, this tank destroyer can be very hard to kill, since the armor is very angled, so we're going to repeatedly try to kill him through his commander's cupola. With the tank destroyer eventually going down friendly forces, we're going to instead focus our attention down this road to our right. Luckily for us, this AML-90 does 0 damage to us, and we're going to finish him off with this secondary deep round. Pretty easy kill, and we see a pattern going further down that road as well. Moving to help the mouses and capture the points, we take out an IS-3 by shooting his turret ring. After that, we're going to move further down the road. We see that a friendly just died, so we need to be careful, but after clearing out this road, we're gonna move on to capture Alpha. With Alpha now secured, we're gonna continue moving down this main road to clear out any enemy resistance. And behind the smoke we find a object 120, a tank which will not have a problem killing us. Luckily for us, we do take him out in one shot. Start to repair and replenish my gunner. Now just looking left here, we are in a quite bad position since we are directly in front of the enemy spawn, so I decided to kind of try at least to get out of this road since I don't want to be standing in front of the enemy spawn. And as we turn into this corner, we face to face with the American SPA. Not much he's gonna do when we get a lucky overpressure with the 75mm cannon. And just after that, we kill a T-44-100 with our main gun to just move around the corner. Here you can see another example of why you do need to bind different keybinds to both of your armaments. Crossing the river to contest Bravo, we come across two tanks. First off, a R-80. The tank does manage to eat the 75 heat, but does not manage to survive the 20. We also come face to face with a Russian T-44. Doesn't look like he noticed us, so we're just gonna wait for the reload, track him to just put him in place, and drive forward and kill him. Now, I did hear a heavy tank behind me, sounded like a IS-2 or a IS-3. You should be able to hear him as well, so we're going to position ourselves with my front armor towards him. But he doesn't look like he's gonna cross over, so we need to take the fight to him. So we drive around the corner, and now I've basically decided that this sounds like an IS-3, and it turns out I was right, and we get him the same way we did with the first one. Shoot him on the driver's hatch and turret ring and take him out. And after that we basically just drove to the respawn, nothing much more happened. And that is the end of the second game in the mouse. Not really sure what happened here, seemed kind of bugged. But we managed to earn a total of 76,000 Silver Lions and 7,400 research points. That is also the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like and subscribe. Join the Discord in the description as well. Next time, take care.